working.
Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here, and welcome to my review for the Mega Fury Saber from Power Rangers Dino Fury. If you don't know or don't recognize it, this is the saber they use in the Megazord when they do their finishers, because they have to have some sort of weapon that sort of does nothing in the Megazord but indicates that it's doing a finisher. But it's actually a pretty cool weapon. Ever since it's debuted, it is a US original weapon that was not in Resoldier. I thought it was pretty cool looking, and I was kind of hoping they'd do a toy for it, just because it's like, well, why would they make it if not to sell toys for it? So I'm kind of glad they did it. To be honest, it's definitely one of those ones that kids are going to enjoy more. It's not like the best collector's item, but it's not bad. I mean, overall, you can see right here, it's actually a pretty decent size. I don't think it's like 100% accurate to the show, but in general, it's like relatively a decent size compared to your average Power Rangers weapon, which it kind of should be because, you know, it's called the Mega Fury Saber. It's this giant saber they use in the Megazord, and I'm glad that it's at least a solid size, and, you know, for kids, it'll probably seem like an even larger size compared to, you know, a lot of PR and Sentai weapons are usually like really rinky-dink. Like, even when I was little, I was like, why are the Power Rangers swords like daggers? So it is an overall decent size. Look-wise, it's very okay. It very much is more in line with a kind of, you know, made-for-play, safe version. Like, the blade sculpt looks pretty good, and, you know, you have the general same color, and I like the shape of it and like the idea of the teeth here. But when you look at it, like in the show, or look at pictures of it from the show, it's got a lot cooler, more detailed-looking blade, where this is just kind of a soft, you know, safe blade. And even, like, the handle here looks like the cheaper version. Again, I was like, does it really look like this? And I went to go look at a picture, and like, yeah, if you look at a picture, it's going to be a lot more of a detailed look, and this definitely looks very much like the toy version. I mean, it is the toy version, guys, little secret, but you know what I mean. There's some PR role-play weapons and stuff that make really good display pieces and some that don't. I would say this kind of sits somewhere in the middle. I think it's much more of a fun piece for your kids to play with, but for the most part, it's like a very basic, like, that's fine for your display if you really want to complete it, but if you're looking for something really accurate and awesome looking, this is very much more of a toy aesthetic for it. I mean, Dino Fury being like the current series and not MMPR, I don't think it would be something they ever did a high-end collectible for, but I would love to see something that looked a little bit more accurate, and like honestly I would like to see them maybe do like a Halloween toy of it where it just aesthetically looked a lot more like the show, because they've actually over the recent years done Halloween toys that actually make really nice display pieces. But so yeah, that's it aesthetically. As far as noises, you got a couple different noises activated by this button. It does have motion sensing, but you can't do any of that until you press the button for activation. So press the button here. You kind of get those cool musical activation noises, and then it kind of has this idle sound, not like American Idol, but just like an idling, like humming sound, which is kind of nice. It kind of makes it feel like you're holding like a powerful humming blade, and then it shuts itself off while I'm trying to monologue. You caught me monologuing, you sly dog! But let's show off the features, just let me shut up. So you got, you know, your standard motion sounds. I really think Hasbro just loves motion-activated sounds. I feel like we're one step away from the basic action figures having motion sense. And you know, you also have like clashing and hitting noises, and that's pretty much your basic stuff. You know, something that kids are going to get a kick out of, motion sensing, and maybe if they sort of play fight with them or whatever. The only other feature it has right here is you have two little buttons down here, which you can just activate on their own, but it advertises it as working with this morpher here, so you're supposed to actually press it onto this section of the button, and it kind of lines up, and they'll both play the same noise at the same time. So yeah, it basically plays the exact same noise as the Morpher. I mean, as you can tell from this and the Morpher itself, there's not any sort of like chip reader or anything scanning it. It's literally just two buttons interlocking. But I have to say, like, I was thinking, because like all the toys in the Season 2 line so far have been advertising like, oh look, put the new keys in there, but they don't do anything in this. So I was thinking like this is just going to be another thing where they make you think it works together and it doesn't. And it's actually kind of neat, you know, I kind of satisfying in the fact that they both play the same noise in this energy. You know, it's a more low-tech version. It doesn't have any scanning, but, you know, it's kind of neat, and I think kids will get a kick out of it. So my point is with that feature is it's just not as bad as I thought. But overall, you know, I'm glad they made this thing because, you know, we did an original US creation that was pretty neat, and it makes sense to capitalize on that. I'd more so say this is a good recommendation if you want to have something for your kids because they'll have a lot of fun with it. If you really want something to complete your collection and you don't have like really high standards about it being super accurate, you know, it makes a decent stand-in, but it's not going to be the most detailed and accurate representation of it in the show. But, you know, I don't mind it. It's a decent size. It fits in the display just fine. I would love to see a Halloween version someday, like I said. But that's about it for this one, though, guys. Until next time, if you like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.